Hey, what is going on, guys? It's me, Pokemon Pursuers. Welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. And today, it is Sunday, which means story time day. Tomorrow will be probably the premiere of Twilight Chronicles. Um, ugh. So, anyway, guys, today we have a special video. Repping Pats Nation after the dub last night. Watched the entire game. Let's go. Moving on to the championship. Anyway, well, I just took a shower, so if you guys are wondering why my hair's wet. Anyway, so, this is another story time I wanted to show you guys, and it's how I started dating my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, guys. For those of you who follow my Instagram, maybe you saw on my Instagram, my profile picture is with her, and my bio has our date in it and everything, which was about 2.5 months ago. We started dating, so... let me fill you guys in. I don't really know if she wants me to say her name on YouTube. I mean, her channel name is she doesn't post anything on her channel. She just uses it to, like and watch videos. But, I'm not really going to say her name because I don't know, like, if she would be okay with it, or I don't really think she'd care, but I won't say it anyways. So, yeah, I liked her for, like, a little while. About... I'd say 2 months or so before we started dating, which we started dating November 4th. And I liked her a little bit before then. I liked her and one other person. And they were like kind of tied and I couldn't decide. So I was like in that situation. I did lean towards the girl I'm dating. Like I was leaning towards her a little more than the other person. But now obviously, God blessed me and my dreams came true. But anyway, so here's how it all started off. This is present week of when I asked her out. So, it was at the start of the week when I found out. I believe it was Sunday night. I was about to go to bed and I was talking to my friend Charlie. You guys probably know. I was talking to him for a little bit before I went to bed. We were on a call, and then we were just talking about some stuff, and then we were just talking about relationships and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, we just decided there was this one because he knew who I liked at the time. He's like, "Hey, what if my girlfriend? I'm just gonna say here. I'll just call her K. How about that? Her first name starts with a K, so I'll just start off with K. So that's her name. Her name starts with a K. So he tells me, "Hey, what if K liked you?" I'm like, dude, that would be crazy because it's like that would be insane. I'm like, yo, dude, you should like totally like ask her. And I was like kidding around. He's like, okay. I'm like, oh, I didn't really want you to, but if you want to, go ahead. This is probably gonna be pretty awkward because he's probably gonna say no. Like I did not expect anything. So he went over. He went and asked her. He's like, hey, do you like Jacob? And I'm like, oh god. She took a little while to respond. Then she opened it. We were both there. I was like, we were using Snapchat, by the way. I was like, oh god, she opened it. Because he sent it to her, and I was just waiting for his response. And then she had no idea that we were on the call at the time, obviously. Then she responded to him, and she's like, yeah, kind of. Why? I'm like, what? No, you're kidding, right? That's crazy. I was like, you're just, it's bullcrap. No, there's no way. He's like, you want me to prove it to you? So he screenshotted it, and he sent it to me, and she said he was about to send it to me, and then she said, wait, don't send it to him. And she said that, don't tell him, and then obviously I knew already. So, then he tells me, oh, she doesn't want you to know. I'm like, oh well, I already do know. So then he's like, you should just be open about it. Jacob's like a cool person. He's not gonna like tell everybody and be that kind of like guy who's gonna do anything about it. And then it was a good idea for her to be open about it. So Charlie's like, yeah, you should be open about it to him. Just tell him that you like him and maybe he likes you back. So then took a little while. She was typing. I thought this was a complete prank. I thought I was being pranked so hard. And her and I did talk. Like, we did, we talked before the 2 months we started dating. Like, we talked every once in a while. We had each other's Snapchats. We talked. And, so anyway, I just wanted to say, she was like, she was going to type. She's going to type. And then I was like, oh my god, she's actually typing. I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah, you think I'm kidding? Like, I didn't believe Charlie at all. I was like, this is such a prank. You're totally pranking me. She's going to say something stupid. And then when she started typing, I was like, oh my god, he's actually being serious. I'm like, dude, she sent me a Snapchat. I'm so scared to open it. I'm like, well, what do you think he's gonna say? He's like, just open it. I'm like, screw it, let's do it. So I opened it, and I cannot remember the exact message, and I do not feel like scrolling all the way up to get the message, but it was a great message, and she said everything like, she said, hey, I kind of like you, and I want to be open about it, and all that stuff, and I was so hyped, and I was so excited because it was like, oh my god, this is literally a dream come true. I was the happiest guy. I went to bed that night, and I was so happy. And then that week, I was like, I gotta ask her out. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I had to do it in school, obviously. I'm not gonna do it over text because that's retarded. I was like, I gotta do it in school. I just gotta do it in school. So, throughout the week, I was like, oh, when do I do it? I was planning on doing it on Thursday or Friday. Friday was the primary date, but then I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it today. Thursday. So the week went by, progressed. I was thinking about it, talking about it. It's pretty much what I thought about for the first couple of days. And then Thursday hit, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna do it. I told some of my people, some of my friends, one friend in my science class. I was like, all right, listen, dude, I'm gonna do it. He's like, really? You're actually gonna ask her out? I'm like, yep. And he has a girlfriend too, so he can relate. He gave me some advice and everything. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So Thursday, I was like, oh crap, because I know where I knew the area where her locker was in. So I waited by my locker for about 5 minutes before the buses came, or while the buses were there, and I was like, I don't want to be late to my bus. So I waited there for like 5 minutes. I was like, oh man, she's not stopping back at her locker. And then I figured, and then I walked to my bus. I was like, God dang it. So she wasn't there. And then this is kind of where I made it obvious that I was totally asking her out. Like she was like, she didn't tell me, but I knew she had the idea that I was totally doing it. So later that night, I was like, hey, where's your fourth period class? And she's like, oh, it's broadcasting, and I know where that is. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, do you usually just come back to your locker after fourth period? Or she's like, no, I usually grab my stuff and I just go out. And I'm like, that's probably why she'd stop at her locker. So then I'm like, okay, cool. And then she's like, why do you ask? I'm like, oh, I was just wondering, because I kind of wanted to ask you a few things, and yeah, kind of. I don't know if I said exactly that. If I wanted to ask her, I think I said I just had a question for her. So then she's like, okay, and then that's when it was super awkward the next day, because we're in the same flex class, and flex is like the period where you can just like chill out, and we were in the same flex, and it was so awkward. Like I was like, oh, we were sitting like diagonal from each other. We didn't say a word to each other except um, she was talking to her other friend in the class, and they were just giggling and stuff. And then she looked at me for a second and just like shook her head, and I was like laughing when they were telling each other stuff. That's pretty much the only action we had that day, and I was like, so awkward and so annoying. But I was like, don't worry, it's okay. So then Friday hits, and it's Friday, and I'm like, oh my god, it's actually going to happen. Are you serious? Today's the day, and I said I have to do it. Cannot pass it up. It's got to happen. So then fourth period was over, and my heart was beating. I was like, boom, boom, boom. It was beating, bro, beating. I was like, oh my god, I gotta go ask her out. So I walked up to broadcasting. She was walking back. I walked up, and we were just talking a little bit and talking. And then we were walking down. She had to stop at her locker, which was like a good time to stop at her locker. And she stopped, and then we were talking a little more and talking. And then on the way out, we were walking past the lockers. And then I was like, after we were done talking a little bit, then she grabbed her stuff, and then I was like, okay, well, obviously, you probably figured it out. I came to ask you something, and then I was like, okay, almost said her name. Kay, will you go out with me? And she said yes, and that's when my heart was beating even more for some reason. I was just, oh my god, I was like, oh. And then we walked out, we hugged, and I went home the happiest man alive, and that weekend was great. That weekend we also did go to the movies, and that was fun as well. But yeah, guys, that's how I asked out my girlfriend. If you do want to see a picture of her, you can see a picture of her on my Instagram, my profile picture. And yeah, guys, it was a pretty crazy moment. It was scary, okay? It may seem people think, oh yeah, it's so easy to ask out a girl. It's really not. Honestly, though, if you're a really outgoing person, maybe, but I am a pretty outgoing person, somewhat. Yeah, I'm pretty outgoing. So it wasn't that hard for me, but it wasn't easy either. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, donate for more content, and I'll catch you guys later. Leave a like for more story times, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.